Here are 4 of the 5 tires that I ordered have been delivered now. These are American Classics with a 1-inch white wall. They are the original size for this car. So that's the P205/75R15. And today what we're going to do is jack up the car, get it on 4 jack stands so I can take off all 4 of the tires that are on the car. And then we're going to take them up to a local shop to get the old tires pulled off, and they'll give me the wheels back so that I can sand and repaint those. Then when that's all done, we'll take the painted wheels back with these new tires and have them mounted and balanced. So here we go. I'm going to lift the front of the car up first. So I put the wheel chocks behind the rear tires. And then up front here, you'll see I've got the jack up underneath the cross member between the front tires and in front of the oil pan there. So this is one of the acceptable jack points for the car. Now I'm just going to lift it up a little bit at a time here and keep checking it, making sure that I'm centered. And that looks okay so far. Before I get the front tires off the ground, I'm gonna now take off the hubcaps and loosen the lug nuts. So easiest way to take off the hubcaps, if you still have the original jack in the trunk, you can use basically the original tool. And I just get in between the steel wheel and the hub and pry out, and it's loud, super annoying sound. Tries here. And I go around at different points around the wheel. Now, the jack that comes with the car, of course, you have your socket of the right size for your lug nuts, but I've gotten one of these cross-shaped pieces years ago, and we can use this because you get a little bit more leverage with it. So I'm just going to loosen these nuts just a bit so that when the tire is off the ground, it doesn't spin when I'm trying to take these off. Okay, we're going to go around and repeat this process for each of the 4 tires before we finish jacking up the car. So now we've got all of the hubcaps off, just loosened the lug nuts, and we're going to jack up the front end a little bit more now to make sure that we have enough clearance to remove the tire. Here's a view from up underneath to show you where the jack is lifting the car, and we'll keep going up now that we've loosened the lug nuts on the front. So even though we have some clearance underneath here, we're not quite high enough yet to get the jack stand underneath the frame, so we're going to lift it up some more. Okay, so now I think we got it high enough. We're going to slide the stands right underneath this jack point on the corner of the frame here on both front sides, and then lower the car very slowly down onto the stands. Okay. All right, so positioned the jack stand underneath the rear differential here, which is another permissible jacking point for the car. You just have to be extremely careful because you don't want the car to tip left or right, because you're basically lifting it on a slightly curved surface, which is the bottom of that differential casing. And that's hard to see on this perspective, but the front end of the car is still up higher than the rear. So it's not quite even, but we're going to go up again until we get the rear end hopefully as high as the front. It is high enough. We can get the jack stand underneath. This is right behind the regular jack point on the frame. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side to position that jack stand, and then we can lower the car down onto it. Now we can take off the tires. You'll see if you rotate it, of course the front tire's up in the air, so it's gonna rotate. That's why I loosened them first. And so the nice thing about these is if you hold it back here with your hand, you can spin it to take off the lug nuts and dump it into the inside of the hubcap. Now, a good habit I do, my father taught me this, skip the lug nuts. So never do them in order. I'm going to start, I took this one off, I'm going to take this one off, and then this one, and that one. And then same thing when we go to put the tires back on. And that'll keep it so that when when the wheel gets mounted, it'll go on evenly. You won't over tighten something and have it get crooked. And we'll just take the tire off, slide it forward off the hub and down. All right, so that's one off, and we're gonna go repeat the process now on the others. Slide the tire out and down. Same deal, slide the tire off and down. Same deal, off and go. All right, there we have it. All the tires are now off of the car. We're gonna take these old ones to the shop, get the tires removed, and the wheels will come back with me to be sanded and prepped to be repainted. We got 4 of the 5 new tires here. I'm getting a new spare as well. And fast forward a couple days. Now we've had the tires taken off the wheels, and I just picked up the wheels to bring them back home. And hopefully one of these weekends here, we're gonna start prepping the wheels for rust removal and painting. And stay tuned, I'll be posting the next step in this process, hopefully in the coming weeks. And again, thanks very much for watching. Now this part's for me for personal cataloging and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to put this in the video, but this tire was the right front tire for the longest time. And I noticed that the tread was wearing way unevenly, as you can see here. And so I want to see if this is, we can figure this out, if it's alignment issue or camber or wheel bearing or something. When I started noticing this happening, I made this tire the spare and then put that in the trunk. So let's take a look at the other tires. Okay, this is the left front tire. Here's the right rear. Again, I'm seeing some uneven wear on the right side. I just don't remember if I had this tire in the front or not on a previous rotation, so it's possible. It's possible I moved this one to the back in one of them, but you can see the tread over here is much lower than the tread over here. So I'm going to assume it wasn't unique to the rear right, but we'll see. Here's the right front that's currently on the car, was currently on the car, and you can see here also some uneven tread wear on this side relative to this side.